This is my football bag, and today I'm revealing everything I pack inside this bag when I play football. Going from the gear I take to every training session, to my match day bag, to the absolute essentials I use every time I have training or games. So that you know the best football gear for every situation, and you'll never have to worry about what to put inside your football bag ever again. So let's start with the bag itself. This is the best bag I've ever owned, and it's the bag they gave me at the Whitecaps Academy. As you can see, here it has a slot for a ball, 2 front pockets where you could put your phone and other accessories. And inside, it even has a compartment where you can put your shin guards, your shin guard sleeves, the back pocket as well. Super spacious. You can only get this bag if you play for the club. So whoever has this bag, you know they're a baller. This bag is also how I order for.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell.
And as you can see, this is my favorite bag and I use it a lot. That's why there's a lot of wear and tear on it. But we're not done with this bag yet because there's a problem. See, every item on this list I've been using for years, meaning that I'm probably gonna love every item on this list. But not everything here is perfect. So throughout this video, there's one rule that I have to follow, and that is to rate every item based on 3 factors. Importance, how often do I use it, and something I call the X factor. So that by the end of this video, you have a fair ranking on which items are actually worth the hype and which ones you should probably avoid. And not only is this bag extremely important, but I use it all the time because a football bag without the bag is just football. But everyone needs a bag, so there's no real X factor, and for that, B tier. And item 2 in my essentials is water. Do I need to explain? 10 out of 10 for importance, 10 out of 10 for use. But water has no X factor, and for that, B tier. Item 3, grip socks. I cannot play without grip socks. Grip socks are very, very essential because you see the grips right here underneath the sock. You get a more locked down feel and you can change directions a lot quicker. And it's more comfortable. It's a lot thicker than regular socks, then this will make the fit feel a lot tighter. Plus, prevents your foot rubbing on the sharp edges of the boot, which prevents blisters. And every professional footballer in every league is now using grip socks. My favorite brand of grip socks at the moment is True Socks. Simply because after you put it in the wash, first, the material doesn't rip very easily, so a simple sock lasts a lot longer. Second is the grip. Even when you wash it, it doesn't lose its grip. It's like as if you just bought a new. This is way better than these Nike socks because these Nike socks don't have the grip underneath. That means you'll get more blisters, you get a more loose feel on the boot when you're wearing it because the material is much thinner, and your foot will slip around in the boot, which will give you blisters. It doesn't give you that lockdown feel, and it's hard to change directions when your foot is slipping inside the boot. So for performance, comfort, and overall foot health, grip socks. There are some players that don't use it, and a lot of players that do. It won't make or break your game, but it is very important. A tier. And item 4 is my Adidas F50s. I'm a really big fan of Adidas cleats because it has a wider toe box and it really suits my foot shape. And this is a speed boot, which means it's very, very light. It's one of the lightest boots in the world. Nike speed boots always come in a narrow toe box, and every single time I've worn Nike in the past, I always get blisters and it always takes so long to adjust to the boot. New Balance is also good. I wore in those for a while, but after a month and a half, 2 months of having it, I already saw massive tears and the boot was unplayable. The laceless version of these are also really good. I used to wear these in the laceless last year. Now just changing it up to a laced version just because I like that tighter fit, and the laced version gives me that feeling. But both are really good, but just remember the laceless version has a slightly more narrow toe box. But you can't play football without boots. So because everybody has them, I can't say they have any X factor. And for that, these cleats are a B tier. But remember, the boot doesn't make the player. So as much as they help, they don't change the game. So far, we've covered simple stuff. There's not many footballers without grip socks, boots, and water. But to finish the essentials off, I have 2 more items that I guarantee 90% of you aren't using, which has saved me time and time again when things go wrong. And the first of them is a pair of backup boots. Having a pair of backup boots might seem unreasonable for most of you, but hear me out. Because over the past few years, I've gone through countless number of boots simply because I was training 2, 3 times, even 4 times a day. Not only did this ruin my boots, but it also wore my body out at the same speed. And if you're also training a lot, trying to reach the next level, but you don't want to have to buy new boots every 3 months to do that, then a much easier way to train would be to try the 30-day plan inside my free training guide. This video is the complete masterclass I created just for you, so you don't have to go through the same pain I did, where I break down 3 training plans that you can follow no matter what level you're at, which help you improve by training less, using barely any equipment, and doing the most simplest drills out there. So if you're interested in giving that a watch, it's completely free on YouTube. I'll leave the link down below in the description. But first, these are the second pair of boots I keep on me at all times. These are the Nike Tiempos, but as you can see, they're indoor shoes. They're turf shoes. I don't really care about the brand here, but these are just a really good backup pair of boots that I have. Just in case if I ever play indoor, I always have a pair that I can use because you can't use firm ground or you can't use anything with studs in indoor fields. If I ever want to play indoors, I can always bust these out and then I can wear these. Obviously not as good as the actual outdoor cleats, but they do the job. Ideally, you always want to have 3 pairs of cleats. 2 outdoor boots, just in case if these rip or something happens in game, you always have a backup pair. And then if you want and you know you're gonna play indoor, I would always have an indoor boot just so you don't have to go back home and grab an indoor pair of boots to play. A lot of people don't carry an extra pair of boot. They're like, you don't need it, but trust me. There was one time in the middle of the game, half the boot literally came out and it was literally unplayable. And in that moment, if I didn't have an extra pair of boot, I would have to get subbed off and sit out for the rest of the game, simply because I wasn't able to play in those shoes. But I had a second pair of actual outdoor boots that I put on and I was able to continue the match. And these backup boots would be D tier. There's a very unlikely chance of you actually having to put these in action, but it can happen. So D tier. And the final item in this list of essentials is easily my favorite tool for injuries or soreness after training or games, because I can use this and almost immediately feel the difference. My muscles feel lighter, I feel almost fully recovered just by using this next item for a couple of minutes. And no, it's not any of the fancy foam rollers, massage guns, or crazy compression boosts. It's this little ball right here. Now before you skip forward, before you comment, this guy knows nothing, hear me out. This is called a myofascial release ball. It's pretty cheap as well, much cheaper than the other recovery tools, and in my opinion, even more effective. But how does it work? The thing is, it's exactly the same as a foam roller, except because of its size, you're able to use it in more specific areas that a foam roller isn't able to reach. But what's even better is, because of the firmness and shape of the ball, it's able to massage those really sore, tender spots you feel in your muscles much deeper than a foam roller ever can. If you don't get rid of the sore spots in your muscle tissue, you'll feel worse when you play, increasing your risk of injury and never letting you play to your full potential. And that's why we use this. Now to use it effectively, find a flat surface. I like to use a yoga mat, but anything works. And you roll out those specific areas on your body that feel tight, just like with the foam roller. For example, if my calves were feeling sore, this is what it would look like. Just rolling it up and down to release that tightness. I do this every day before training and games, after training and games, whenever I feel sore. And every time I play football, I feel fresh just because of this ball. Definitely recommend one of these. This is a game changer. S tier without a doubt. And that is the ball that helps me recover from any training session or game, but it was also the final essential on this list. So let's move on to what I take with me every time I go out to train, whether that's alone or with a partner. And the first item on that list is a ball. You need a ball to train with. You can't work on passing, shooting, dribbling, or any aspect of the game without a football. So if you want to actually get better at the game, you need a football. So this is essential to have in your bag whenever you go out to train. You don't want to just be running laps and doing sprints. I use the Adidas MLS match balls. I think this was from the 2024 season, but this is an official match ball. Hack for you guys to get match balls for a really cheap price. The match balls for the year before always go on sale when the season ends in the summer. And that's how you get real match balls at like a ridiculously low price. I only like to train with match balls because that is the ball that we use in games. You never want to train with a ball that's a lot lower quality than the ball you play in games, because the weight and the texture will always feel off whenever you go into games. So your training should replicate the way you play in games. Even down to the ball will make a big difference. You could train with any ball, they don't make that crazy of a difference. So for that reason, C tier. Essential, really, really important you train with a high quality ball, but it won't make or break your development. So C tier. Item 8, and probably my most favorite item of it all, is my ball pump. You don't understand, this thing has saved me so much time. So what this ball pump does is you can set the amount of air pressure you want, and when I go to pump a ball, you go, so right now this ball is at 6.9 psi. So right now I'm just gonna click on, and look, it's just gonna manually pump it to the limit I put, which I put 10 psi. So I don't even have to touch it, I don't have to manually pump it, and I just leave it, right, and it will automatically stop once it hits 10 psi. Boom, now it's at 10 psi, it stops, no air leaks. Boom, now you have a fully pumped ball. This is from Fantic. We're not sponsored by them, but this is a great invention. This is a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. On the tier list, I rank this an A. So S, you don't need it, but this is a game changer. So this is definitely A. So I would get this if I were you. Object 9 is the tennis ball. This, you don't understand, is so effective. This works on specific areas of the game at a much greater level than the ball ever can. I specifically use the tennis ball for juggling. It drastically works on your foot-eye coordination, Second, it works on your foot speed, which is the main thing I use this for. And third, it works on your ball control and your first touch. If you're able to juggle a tennis ball in that perfectly and you're able to keep it up, well, you're gonna see the difference when you go from juggling with a tennis ball to a regular ball. Juggling with a regular ball will feel a lot easier than a tennis ball. So this is a cheat code. Before I signed to the Whitecaps, I would do 10 minutes of tennis juggling every single day, working on those around the worlds, working on keeping it up, working on high and low touches. This is S tier because for how small it is, the amount of effort that you have to put doing the exercises, 10 minutes of juggling, you get so much in return. The next item is cones. Every player should have cones in their bags. So these cones are a little bit smaller than the regular ones. Let's say you kick the cone accidentally, or as you're going through the drill, your cleat hits the cone. With the smaller cones, it's more durable, so it won't break as easily. And these are from Quidco, so they're a lot more sturdy as well. Smaller cones are the new meta. This is D tier. It's very essential that you use them. This can help you work on any aspect of your game, but you can use rocks, you can use socks, you can use shoes. Anything that you can find can replicate and basically replace cones. So you don't need them, but they're very important. So D tier for that reason. These are also the cones I'm using here in my free training guide. So once you've got some of these cones for yourself, go check out that video and you can copy the drills exactly as I do. But before that, it's time for my match day essentials. The football gear I take with me every game are team training, and those items start with the wrap I use for my shin pads. This is perfect to wrap around the shin guard to keep it in place to prevent it from moving. This is much better than tape because tape sticks to your skin. It can really irritate your skin, and if you have long hair, it can rip the hairs and feel very uncomfortable and it can hurt. And even if you tape over the socks, tape sometimes it feels too tight, and a cut off of blood circulation can make your legs feel numb. So wrap is always the better option to hold your shin guards in place. This is C tier. Second is my cut sock sleeves I wear over my grip socks. As you can see, I cut it at the ankle on both the socks. So I wear this over my grip socks because I want to wear the grip socks underneath. So these are the two colorways we wear when we always play a match, whether it's an inter-squad game or an actual match. So these are the two pairs I always have on me. I also have a third pair just in case if we wear our blue kit. I always have the 3 sleeves always in my bag just in case, so I don't forget it. These are A tier. You cannot play a game without sock sleeves. Third for match day is my shin guards. As you can see, 2 different sizes. They're both extremely small, but this is a lot smaller than these. So these are my preferred go-tos, but I always have a second pair just in case if the refs like you can't wear them or they start a big fuss. So these are also super light, but these are the ones I prefer. I wear these every single game. It feels like nothing's on my leg. Maybe it's a mental thing, but I really hate shin guards. So the less shin guard I have, the better I feel, which can help me perform better on the field. The smaller shin pads are B tier, and this is E tier. I hate big shin pads. This isn't big at all, but I hate bigger shin pads. So this is E tier. And the next item is the Vicks VapoRub. Probably the most useful thing in my bag. And it's also something that my entire team at the Whitecaps Academy used to use when we played. And it helps you breathe whenever your nose is blocked or congested. But many pro footballers like Patrick Vieira back in the day have realized they can use this like a hack in games, because the vapors from this open up the airways in your nose, clearing the nasal passage, and this makes breathing 100 times easier. If you have a game and you're ever sick, or the game is at night in the cold, this is really helpful for opening up those airways. And when you can breathe easier, you run easier, so this improves your stamina as well. I sometimes even use it in the daytime in the heat because it's so useful. And another pro tip, when I smell this, my brain associates the smell with football games, so it helps me lock in straight away. And having little triggers like that is so important for performing in game. Now to apply it, you could put it on your shirt, but I've tried that, it will leave a mark. So the best way I found is to rub it onto your throat or into your chest directly inside the shirt. And if you rub it in good enough, you won't leave a stain. Vicks VapoRub, S tier. You don't understand? This is a crazy game changer. S tier, without a doubt. That's my training bag, and after all that, here's the final tier list. Now, having the perfect gear is great, but without knowing the training that's gonna help you improve the fastest, then having the perfect gear but no idea can only get you so far. So I'm gonna leave a video right here that breaks down the 3 training plans I follow to sign for the Whitecaps Academy, so you can just copy me. Click it, watch it before it goes away. I'll see you inside.